Institute. And I'm here to do a little song and dance to do like a preview commercial. So here are a few things that you need to know that are coming up that I think are really important. First and foremost, our last Innovate State of the semester will be happening on November 29th, and it will feature David Powell, who is the owner and CEO of NWork. Again, that will be on November 29th. It's a Wednesday, and it may be your last chance to get credit. If you're getting credit for Innovate State within your class, that's the last date to get credit for Innovate State. So mark your calendars, show up, it'll be a good time. Also, you should know that the Burgess New Venture Challenge applications are open today. Actually, they opened up on the 1st, but I'll just say they're open today. And they will close on January 29th, 2024. How many of you have heard of the Burgess New Venture Challenge? Oh, I love that there are hands up. That's awesome. For those of you who do not know what the Burgess New Venture Challenge is, here it is in 30 seconds. It is MSU's premier pitch competition. It offers 15 teams who are semifinalists, and they are selected from the pool of applicants that come in. You will learn how to pitch your company. You will pitch in front of very experienced judges, and you can win up to, so total cash prize is $50,000. First prize is $15,000. No competitor leaves empty-handed, so get your applications in today. Also, register to attend MSU Women in Entrepreneurship's pitch competition on the 28th of this month. There are over $3,500 in prizes being dispersed for the WE competition. Sign up. You can go to msuwe.org. Is it .org? Yes. .com? Is it .com? Yeah, just look up Michigan State University Women in Entrepreneurship, and there you go. Finally, thank God, finally, MSU Entrepreneurship Association has Pitch Mania happening on the 30th of November. So if you are into pitch competitions, this month is your month, and then April is your month. But this month is your month for pitch competitions. EA is offering $1,100 in cash prizes, so go watch and cheer on your favorite teams as they compete. Now, it is my pleasure, my infinite pleasure, to welcome a good friend, my senior intern, Diego Fernandez, who will be your moderator for tonight.
Thanks. Good evening, everybody. I'm Diego. It's getting a little bit late. Hope you guys have had your second cup of coffee. For those of you who haven't, let's get the energy going up in here a little bit. Go green.
Go white.
Go green.
Go white.
One more. Go green.
Go white.
Okay, that's pretty good. So welcome to our 5th Innovate State of the year, our 2nd Emerging Leaders speaker series. So our Emerging Leaders is where we feature recent grads who are killing it in the entrepreneurial space. And today's pretty special because we're all peers here. This is entirely a student panel. I think that you can learn a lot from people who are in your shoes or maybe a little bit ahead of you than those who are already at the top of the stairs and fully doing it. So I think it'll be really good to hear from people who are kind of in our shoes, especially because today we have 4 amazing individuals, each with their own unique perspectives. So with that, I'd like to welcome first Elliot Smith. Tanushri Thapar. Rajmeet Singh Shanduk. And Ella Lynch. All right, so classic first day of school vibes. We're just gonna go name, major, year, and give it a little elevator pitch about kind of what you're doing in the entrepreneurial space. We'll start with you, Elliot.
All right, cool. Thank you very much for the warm introduction. My name is Elliot Smith. As you can tell from the gray hairs, I'm a a little bit older than the rest of the folks up here, but I'm a second-year MBA student here at Michigan State. I guess my elevator pitch, to keep it real kind of short and simple, I'm the CEO founder of Motmot, and what we do is we put submersible drones into your drinking water pipe and provide data and visibility for cities and communities.
Hi, I'm Tanushree. I'm a fourth-year neuroscience major with a minor in entrepreneurship and innovation. I work at Burgess Institute as a Shaberg Entrepreneurship Scholars intern. I'm the president for Michigan State Neuroscience Club. I work at the Honors College as a student assistant. What else? I'm a third-year resident assistant at Wilson Hall. And my venture is called Heer, which basically means a diamond in my first language, Hindi. And I just make hoop earrings for the love of hoop earrings. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tanushree. Hey guys, my name is Rajmeet. I'm a senior majoring in computer science, mining, and entrepreneurship. I am the co-founder and CTO for Odin Classroom, an online course management platform for computer science students. In very simple words, a D2L specially designed for computer science students. I'm also the president of Spartan Hackers, one of the biggest computer science club on campus.
Hi everyone, I'm Ella Lynch. I'm a third-year political science student with a triple minor in law, justice, and public policy, entrepreneurship and innovation, and business. And my venture is Stuck On You Design Co. I create a lot of really cool designs, and I put them on products that people actually want to use in their everyday lives. And I started with stickers, fun fact, but now I'm expanding into other products like clothing and other lifestyle products.
Cool. Thank you, guys. We'll start with you, Ella. So political science major and Stuck On You Design Co. Obviously, two pretty different areas. Is there anything that you kind of can take from like the political science kind of atmosphere? Is there any crossover between the two, or like what, I guess, have you gained from your major as it goes into your startup?
Yeah, so Stuck On You was originally a quarantine project for me. This was something that I started back in 2020, kind of just frankly out of boredom. I didn't really have anything to do. I had a lot of time on my hands, and it was just something that I wanted to start. But there was also another thing I was passionate about, and that was politics and political science and kind of just everything that's going on in our world, especially in 2020 when everyone was basically just losing their minds. And so it was really important to me coming to MSU that I was able to get kind of the best of those two worlds that I was both really passionate about. And then last semester, I did an internship with Congresswoman Alyssa Slotkin. And that was really cool because that was like the first time I was able to see the overlap between the political science world and entrepreneurship and business. And I got to do a lot of really cool projects with her from the design aspect. I designed her challenge coin. So if you ever see that out in the world, I designed that, which was really cool. And yeah, figuring out where the overlap is between the two, there's a lot more overlap than you would think. I mean, you have design, you have communications, you have political science, and all of those have some sort of overlapping quality. And just being able to find that and being able to experience that is really special.
That's really cool. Thank you. And then Rajmeet, I know that you're very passionate about the technology space. And with your startup, Odin Classroom, as like a student venture, you're kind of changing the landscape, or at least trying to change that technology area that you're so passionate about. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So Odin Classroom itself is a platform designed with great user interface, highly intuitive design, and it's something that people at MSU are struggling with. So when you're trying to learn something new, a lot of times you're passionate, you're motivated to do, get into that state. But what if the very platform that you're using is a major roadblock? It adds friction to that learning experience. And that was what was happening at Michigan State University because of the existing platforms that are currently in place. And that's when I was like, we should do something about it. So me and my co-founder, Aman, we both of us worked together to find this problem and solve this problem. And how do we build it? Well, the technology. So I feel technology is something that just holds the key to solving things. It's the key that holds, taking your ideas from just ideas to actual reality. And that was something that really motivated me and that really got me into this field to begin with, because that's so cool that you can just use some of these cool technologies and build something that changes lives for people. And I think that's the reason also that I chose this field and the reason why I wanted to be the president for Spartan Hackers. Because I feel that we can provide a space of where we can help students learn these skills, learn these technology to bring change to the world itself. And it's just such a fun place to be in.
Yeah, definitely. And Elliot, you're also kind of within that technology atmosphere as well. So can you tell us a little bit more about how technology has influenced what you did? And also from that perspective of being a graduate student, have you looked at it a little bit different, being a little bit more in, I guess, with a little bit more pressure to figure it out because you're not in your undergrad, you're in your graduate?
Okay, so we got is this on? You guys? All right, I think you guys can hear me okay. Yeah, so from the technology standpoint, civil engineering, I don't feel like this is on. Okay. Oh,
I think you're good now.
There you go.
oh, someone switched it off. Okay, it was me. It was me. Okay, so in civil engineering, we really, my background, I'm a civil engineer. I did civil engineering for about 7 years as a consultant. If you live in the Detroit metro area, the Ypsilanti or Washington County, chances are I probably touched some part of your infrastructure. That said, civil engineering, we don't have a lot of technology. Like, you build a road in Rome, there's not that much of a difference in the roads today, to be honest. So a lot of the things that we do in that space are very archaic. And to put inspections into drinking water pipe, it's never really been done. Or if it has, it's just crazy expensive. So really geeked to give more empirical evidence for communities to make better decisions so we can all have safe and clean drinking water. That's kind of the mission. The second parter was being a grad student. It's kind of low-hanging fruit, but to be honest, like, I'll hit it again. These gray hairs were not here last year, and I'm starting to become a little more self-conscious about it. The program is really rigorous to be a grad student. It's really, it's a competitive space. So to be a grad student and doing a venture, it stresses you out. It's probably a reason a lot of us aren't doing ventures, but I would have it no other way.
I think the gray hair is the look, honestly. You gotta confident.
I don't see any gray hair. Like, I don't.
It's because he's wearing a hat. I'm just kidding. Tanushree, me and you kind of have something in common where we're both started as Burgess interns. Can you tell us a little bit about that journey, starting as an intern to where you're now like beginning to start your venture?
Yeah. Okay. So I enrolled in my minor my sophomore year. That's when I got to know about Burgess. I kept emailing Lori and Ken that I need a job at Burgess. Like, you have to get me in. Because one of my best friends, he was working at Burgess, and he would go on and on about, like, I love the work environment there, and everyone's so nice. There's a lot of diversity, like, people of color. And I was like, I have to get in there. So I kept emailing Lori and Ken for a year. And Lori finally reached back to me before my junior year, and she was like, okay, quick interview, I have a job for you. And then I spoke to her for like 10 minutes, and then she was like, okay, can you be a Shaberg Entrepreneurship Scholars intern? And I was like, what is that? So she said, we are starting this program for 15 students who have potential to be entrepreneurs. And I want you to guide them. I want you to plan events for them, for ideation, take them on trips for networking, and just help them with their pitches. Never done that. I'm a neuroscience major. I work with brains. But I was like, sure. And our program was such a success that this year we had 25 people. Like, we expanded from 15 to 25, which was amazing. So yeah, I started as an intern at Burgess. And then I was fortunate to intern at Stunio this summer, which was formerly known as Uniservices when they started at Burgess. I don't know if you guys know about Uniservices or Stunio, But the CEO, Adam Green, he recently graduated from Michigan State. And this summer, sorry about that, I was able to work with him. Like, I was able to see a day in a life of an entrepreneur. I sat with him in the meetings and just saw how he worked. And it was such an inspiration to me. And it gave me all the confidence I needed to start my own venture. So like right after summer, I started my venture. So that's my story.
Yeah. Do you think, because obviously you noticed something just from the outside about how the entrepreneurial space like attracts people who are fun to work with, and then you went and worked with Stunio and noticed that that was also a great environment. Do you think there's something to like entrepreneurship that attracts people that are like energized and are like fun to work with?
Yes, of course. Firstly, just looking at people my age work the way they do, these people, and then Yukta, and then Jackson there, and then Paul. Yeah, I'm just giving random shout outs. But just like seeing all these young entrepreneurs who are literally my age, they have such successful businesses and they're full-time students, and they're like he said, like he is a full-time entrepreneur and then also doing graduate school.
Yeah.
So I think that is so inspiring and super, like it just gives me a lot of energy. And then everyone at Burgess, I don't know if you guys have met the faculty there. Ken, Paul, Lori, Aubrey, Laurel, like everyone, they're just amazing. And, you know, just the energy at Burgess. So that was very inspiring and motivating. Yeah, Diego.
Okay,
Sorry.
I wasn't
Forgot about
expecting a
you.
shout-out. I wasn't expecting a shout out. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean giving all the shout outs, like I think networking and building relationships just based off that is definitely a super important thing. So the question I posed to like the whole panel, how have you guys gone about building those relationships, fostering them, and I guess what has that like led you to notice about people? What observations? And main question is how have you gone about networking and building relationships?
Okay, this is kind of a cop-out answer, but I like to talk. So more often than not, like especially when it comes to networking, I don't really go in with necessarily an expectation of like something like hugely successful coming out of it, but I walk into it with the expectation that I'm sharing my venture with somebody else. And if I walk away from that conversation with at least one other person being like, oh, Stuck on You Design Code, that is a business that I'm interested in looking more into, or at least like checking out my page, that to me is successful. And with networking specifically, like just talk, put yourself out there. And the worst that can happen is they don't like your business or they say no, but they're definitely gonna say no if you don't even put yourself out there to begin with. And with entrepreneurship specifically, like fake it till you make it, quite frankly. I mean, there are a lot of situations where you will have to put yourself out there more, like pitch competitions. But again, like if you go in with the confidence of this is my venture, this is why it's awesome, you can't really lose in that situation.
Yeah, kind of just to add on to that, be open to talking to people. Like it's something that you just need to sell yourself, sell what you are, who you are. And I think just having that conversation itself get people very interested. Most people just don't ask the right, just question itself. Like they're like, oh, I am, doing this. But, so a lot of times you can change that conversation to how he can also benefit from what I'm doing. Like me having like my platform, how can my platform benefit you guys? Just me blabbering and boasting on my platform is gonna do anything. That you guys are gonna be bored about the conversation. But what you guys can get out of it is also something I think can help you, make those deeper connections, and maybe they can sometimes reach you out. Hey, I saw something that might benefit you. I think that'll be really cool. So, having conversations itself and being open to conversation, regardless of who it is I think just a very big thing.
I think I've learned more in life, like while talking to people than in my classes. So I think just talking to people, learning through their experiences, like, their ups and downs and how they tackle things. And yeah, I think it just is great to learn from people. And for me, networking involves a lot of that because I don't want to make mistakes. I mean, I will, but if they did, I learned from them, so.
I think I have two answers for this one, what it means to be networking. Your guys' backgrounds, I'm assuming, are pretty diverse. The secret to completing your undergraduate experience is treat it like a team sport. If you're not going through the motions with like a core little group or a core team, it makes it very difficult. Network with that group is huge. The second thing is getting a mentor, an industry mentor, somewhere where you want to be, and what kind of industry you want to, whatever kind of industry you want to get into. Find someone that you look up to, and really leverage their experiences, and try to like set a meeting with them like for 30 minutes once a week. Will really help pay dividends.
Yeah, I like all those answers. Definitely, I like how you broke it down. Mentorship, like just talking, like even shooting like LinkedIn messages and just trying to find those people. And then staying authentic with like not boasting about yourself, but how can you help others? I think that's really cool. And you said that you've learned more from other people than maybe some of your coursework. But so another question is, how has like employing this entrepreneurial mindset changed your perspective on how you like approach that coursework? Has it changed, has it shifted your perspective, or any one of you guys, has it shifted your perspective in how you go about like your academics?
Okay, I think one thing that entrepreneurship has taught me is time management, especially being a student. I've actually just started my business like this semester, and it's been a journey. Like, I don't know how you guys have been doing this for years, but like it's been crazy. And I think the biggest challenge right now is time management with everything going on, like personal challenges and like being a senior, like you want to do everything last year, and just working on your ventures. So one thing that I think that I'm doing in my coursework is probably like managing my time better, I think.
Have you found a method to like better do that?
Ooh. I bought an iPad.
You have
Recently.
one of the cool like stylus.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous. That's sweet.
So.
Yeah. Are there any other, have you guys found any time management methods? Because I definitely struggle with that a ton.
I use Notion. I highly recommend it. It's really hard to figure out at first, but if you get a template, it's perfect. That's the only thing I've been using for like 2.5 years, and it's perfect.
Okay. Sweet.
Highly recommend.
Yeah.
I just have one more thing to add. It's called Todoist. It's one of the best to-do apps I have found on the Play Store. It's just, you can do every single thing, and it rewards you, and it's so good. It's beautiful.
But Rajmeet, like, when you make a to-do list, do you actually do all your to-do list things?
Surprisingly, yeah, because
Okay,
there's
cool.
a feature in which you can actually track the habits, and it gives you a reward if you're tracking the habits.
So our reward system.
So
kinda
there's a
works there,
reward
okay.
system attached to it, and I think that is a very big thing.
That is pretty smart.
It's a great idea.
Neuroscience, right?
Yeah. Elliot, you want to add any time management?
I'm actually going to take Rajmeet's advice. I don't know how to manage my time, so I'm going to get to-do lists for sure.
Yeah.
That and a lot of coffee. I might look to you as a mentor, if that's okay after this.
Yeah. Finding a mentor here. You're just talking about mentoring. That's really cool. I've just been using my notes app, and I have like 1 million notes, and I'm like, do this, and it doesn't really work. So I'll definitely take that advice. Switching up a little bit, I really wanted to ask about, have you guys had any aha moments during your journey? We've been talking about this journey, like the ups and downs, what it takes, the time management. Has there been any like standout aha moments that any of you guys have had during this journey?
I can start. So I joined Burgess in my freshman year as a web and app developer. So I was basically helping students build apps and websites for their startups, right? And just being in that space, working with these people, I was like, I want to do something. I want to do something of my own. And I think just that the moment when the MSU and computer science, that moment where people started struggling with computer science courses because of the poor platform, like that was probably the aha moment for me, which I was like, that is the right time to tackle a problem and something to start off, because I have been in this space, I have seen how it progresses and how it goes, and maybe this is the time to actually do something. And for me, I think that timing really made a difference. Otherwise, I would be just like looking for something to start without ever starting something.
Yeah. So that aha moment was like at the inception point, and you're like, this is what I need to do, and that gave you the drive to like start tackling it. Yeah. That's really cool.
I guess I'll go. My aha moment, well, let me back up. So like I said before, Stuck on You was a quarantine project. It was just something that came about because I had nothing else going on at the moment. And my aha moment was actually when I got into MSU and I was like choosing my classes, figuring out what I was going to do for my major. And I saw that they had the entrepreneurship minor, and I was like, oh, this is pretty interesting. Like at this point, I think I had Stuck on You. Stuck on You had been open for probably like 3 or 4 months at this point, and I just remember like looking at that and being like, I think if I enrolled in this minor, like this could actually be something. Like I could actually move forward with this business and make it something that's not just out of my bedroom. And I always make the joke of like, oh, Stuck on You followed me to college. But quite frankly, like part of the reason that, I'm sitting here because I have a business, and that all just started because I was bored. And, but that wasn't even my aha moment. My aha moment was actually, I think it was like the second semester of my freshman year, and I was doing the Women in Entrepreneurship pitch competition. And that was my first time doing any sort of pitch competition ever. Like that was my first time really getting up in front of somebody, or multiple somebodies actually, and being like, this is my venture, this is why it's awesome, and this is why you should hopefully give me money for it. And that, like, I was very, very nervous about it, but that was the first time where I actually had the moment of this could be something beyond just like a boredom project. And it was really cool to like get up in front of everybody and be like, this is what I have started, and I want to take it further than where I'm currently at.
Yeah, it's really cool. Is the Women Entrepreneurship Pitch Competition application still going? No? Okay. Next year. Or Burgess New Venture Challenge. Who knows?
I can go next. So when I started thinking about what I want to do with the hoop airing business that I am in right now, so over the summer, like I was thinking about like different skin tones and like different metals and the colors and like I basically wanted to introduce DEI in the jewelry industry, like, jewelry based on skin tones and making the jewelry industry very inclusive to people. And I was very set on my idea, and I thought it was super cool. Like, skincare industry has that, and this could be a really good venture. And then I spoke to a lot of people about it, a lot of entrepreneurs. I like told them my idea and everything. And then I was talking to someone, and I realized that I don't want to like make people feel like they have to wear a certain kind of jewelry just because of their skin tone, So I like changed my entire idea. So that was like my aha moment that I realized, like, I was so sure about my idea, and I was like, I'm gonna make a change in the world, and and then I realized, like, no, Tanushi, like, take a step back. Like, I don't want to be a person who's gonna tell you like you have to wear this because of your skin tone or something. But yeah, because I studied color theory all summer, and like I have that knowledge and everything. So on my website, I'm gonna have blogs that are gonna talk about color theory and like skin tones, undertones, what kind of look good, what looks good on your skin and everything. But I'm not gonna like sell my stuff on basis of that. So yeah, so that was like my aha moment when I was like, I need to pivot my idea.
Yeah.
tackle it. So I'm the president of MBA Entrepreneurship Association, and we got our first years in this year. There were about 5 or 6 folks that want to start a venture, and I sat them down and I asked them a question. I said, why do startups fail? And most of the answers, I think 6 of 6, were because we run out of runway or we run out of money. And I can tell you that is not why startups fail. It's just a byproduct. Why startups fail is because of lack of customer discovery, lack of tuning your product or tuning your service to a need or a want. My aha moment was, if you can tune your product and service by doing actual interviews, getting very uncomfortable, going to people and asking them like about their behavior. Don't tell them what you're doing, just ask them about their behavior. If you can get to the root of that, then you're gonna have a really successful venture.
Something that you said in there I think was important is like doing what's uncomfortable, because it's not super comfortable to like go up to strangers and talk to them about your wild ideas. So how have you guys approached like stepping outside of your comfort zone, and what have you learned from that? I mean, right now we're stepping outside of our comfort zone a little. Everyone's like,
I mean, I was going to use that as a good example because I've always been a very outgoing person. Like, my parents love to make the joke that all I do is talk. But, like, being an entrepreneur is such a unique experience because, like, that's all you're doing is putting yourself in situations that most people, like, would probably want to run away from. Like, a lot of being an entrepreneur is putting yourself in these positions where the trade-off is awesome, but you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I mean, that's what makes entrepreneurship unique, and that's what makes having a venture unique. And it's a very interesting experience, but it's very, very rewarding.
I think there's a saying which says like it takes about 21 days to make a habit like actuality. It becomes natural that when after 21 days, if you keep doing the same thing. And kind of just going with that thing, I think there's never a point in your life where you would not be, comfortable. Like you will have places where you will feel uncomfortable, but, just put in that spot again and again and again, you'll start realizing that, hey, I am uncomfortable, but maybe not 100%, maybe a 50%, maybe a 40%, and maybe that level of uncomfortness, I don't know if that's a word, but that level of uncomfortness will, decrease, and I think it will come to a point where it doesn't give you that much anxiety when you're doing it.
yeah, I tried cold showers, they did not get better. Got 15 days, and yeah.
I want to bridge your question about networking to being uncomfortable.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it is really uncomfortable to talk to people sometimes, and because people with who are big entrepreneurs, and it's sort of intimidating. So over the summer, since I was interning at Stunio, we would have a lot of networking events, and I would get super uncomfortable, just going there, talking to people, and I thought I was a big girl, just big girl moments.
Yeah.
But again, networking is important. People know people who know people. So,
Yeah, definitely.
I'll kind of segue this into the concept of scary versus dangerous. I heard this from Jim Collins. He is a Stanford MBA professor, and he's got this thing called scary. Is it scary or is it dangerous? So a quick show of hands here. Who here loves public speaking? Yeah, okay, we got 4. If we got 4 people. Public speaking is very scary. It makes you very uncomfortable. It's not great. It's not dangerous. It's not dangerous at all, but it puts you in this position to grow. Typically, that's how a lot of these instruments work. If you do something that's scary, it's not dangerous. If you do something dangerous, like driving, it's not very scary, unless if it's in the spring, you have huge potholes. Yeah, I think that's kind of just the nugget I want to share. Is it scary or is it dangerous? Provides growth.
Yeah.
provides growth. I love that.
Yeah, I like that concept a lot. What other types of skills or qualities have you found other than making yourself uncomfortable that have helped you in your entrepreneurial journey?
I can start it. Asking for money is also very uncomfortable. I'm not sure if it's scary or dangerous yet, but yeah, asking for money, getting angel investments, or going for grants is not a skill I ever thought that I would acquire, but is something that you can definitely grow on and you can start to get a little bit better at.
I think being an entrepreneur, having a business of your own, that's not a skill. That's multiple skills on its own. Like imagine you're thinking about being a software engineer, being whatever field you want to be, or the major that you decide and you want to pursue something in it. You're mostly gonna be, centered towards that area. But I feel when you have your own business, it's not only centered towards it. You're learning about marketing, you're learning about legal stuff. How do you register your company? How do you build your product? How do you market it to people? How do you sell your product? And I think that's something that I was never taught, and I just had to keep learning myself. And how do you adapt to, learning that quickly? I think that is something that I learned a lot, and that was something that I learned because I was ready to, take up that challenge. And I was like, yeah, even though if it's not my major, but I still need to learn it because I need to work this out. I need to make this happen, right? So I think that is something that you just kind of learn with all of these skills and things that you wouldn't imagine you would learn because that is not even your major, right?
Yeah, I'll add on to that. I mean, being an entrepreneur and having a venture is just a constant learning experience. I filed for an LLC this summer, and I learned more about that entire process in like the span of 4 weeks than I frankly did in any of my law classes that I've been in here. No offense, MSU, sorry. But I mean, it's a real world experience, and you will really learn a lot about something if you're experiencing it firsthand. And that's, again, a really unique aspect of entrepreneurship is you're going to learn something new every day. And a big thing for me is I've also never really been good at asking for help or asking questions about something. But like being an entrepreneur, you have to ask these questions or it's just not going to work out. And there are people around you, especially here at Burgess, that want to help you. So do not be afraid to ask those questions because you're going to get the answer that you want or not. But regardless, you will get an answer and you'll be able to have people around you that will support you moving forward.
Yeah, I want to add to that. So I am really I hate asking for help. I am all like Miss Independent. I don't want to ask for any help with it from anyone. So it really gets tiring and it's exhausting. So one thing that I learned this year, especially as the president for the Neuroscience Club, I thought I can do it all and I would not delegate stuff to my team members. I would just do everything by myself and it would exhaust me. So just asking for help when you need it is one of the things that I learned. The other thing is communication skills. I think you can, when you try to network or if you're talking to a person who might be important for you, you should know what you're trying to get out of the conversation. We shouldn't waste their time or our time. You should have your little pitch ready and you should know about them. You should research before you talk to them because everyone's time's important. So just honing your communication skills, I think, is very important.
Definitely. Can you walk us step by step how to do an LLC right now? I'm just kidding.
Okay, I was
No.
Get a lawyer.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, number one, get a lawyer.
Get a lawyer.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. No, I want to hear now because we've been looking at how you've gotten to where you are and what it really takes. Where are you guys looking at for the future and how have you kind of mapped out your journey on how you're planning to get there?
I just went through a rebrand this summer. So fun fact, I think I mentioned this earlier. I actually started with stickers. My company's original name was Stuck On You Stickers. But again, that fit in with what I was doing at the time of this being a temporary thing. And stickers were I don't know if anyone else noticed this, but stickers in 2020 were out of this world popular. Like everyone and their mother was making stickers. And so, of course, I had to jump on that train. But this summer was really important for my business because that was the turning point of me investing my time and my money into rebranding my business so I would be able to move forward in the way that I really wanted to. So I rebranded from Stuck on You Stickers to Stuck on You Design Co. And really having that Design Co. in there gave me the freedom to be able to work on product expansion and really be able to take these designs that I've worked so hard on and put them on other products beyond just stickers that people will actually want to use. And that has, I mean, obviously, like, that's a big thing that I was focusing on. But honestly, that also could have been my aha moment, was that rebrand, because that, for the first time, that was me looking at my business and being like, okay, this is exactly where I want to be. This rebranding purposely, like, encompasses everything that I want my business identity to be. And that was a really, really special thing. And for me, I just want to continue that momentum that I got from that rebrand and just continue to push it forward with my business and just keep expanding the number of products and number of designs that I'm able to put out into the world. I also want to expand my team because I am a one-woman show, and that is exhausting sometimes. So those are kind of my main points at the moment.
I think for me and Odin Classroom, we are actually launching this week. So that's a big thing. We will be actually in front of students, in front of our target audience who want to and will be using the platform. So for us, it's just gonna be making sure it doesn't break like other things. But no, I think it's gonna be a good launch, and I'm excited for it. And based on whatever feedback we get, we'll be constantly reworking it, reiterating on it, getting to a point where we are ready to have it as an existing platform at Michigan State University. I kind of go with the concept of, we don't want to charge you anything until you are satisfied with the experience. So I want it to come to a stage where, you guys are just happy with the product and you're ready to pay for it, kind of thing. So that's kind of what I think it's looking for us, and excited for the launch.
Yeah, me too.
For me, so I just started working on my business, and I was in India the last 2 weeks. That's where I'm from. So I actually closed a deal with my first manufacturer, which was a big success. I'm really happy. I really like her, and
Let's go!
So. Yeah, I'm just glad, and I want to work with her with my designs and everything. And I have prototypes for 3 of my hoop earrings that I want to sell. They're nickel-free, so if you guys have allergies, I'm taking care of you. Yeah.
So for road mapping, right now we have 3 patents that we're pursuing, and we're in our funding, well, not in our technical funding rounds or series rounds, but we've raised a decent amount of money, and right now it's an interesting space. So we made it into what's called the National Science Foundation National Ad Corps. They take about 200 teams per year. So through that, we got about 50K. And when we graduate March 1st of next year, we'll be applying for close to about $2.2 million for our R&D research. Going into that should last for probably about a year. But yeah, it's just all about funding and R&D right now. And that's our roadmap.
Yeah, exciting stuff. Yeah, so pretty soon here we're going to turn over to Q&A. I just have one question that's kind of I want to know. You brought up the concept of fear or scary versus dangerous. I think it's a common thing that entrepreneurs and smart people share is they're kind of always intaking information and learning. Are there any, books, podcasts, anything that you guys would recommend that have really helped in your learning about life? I don't know, anything.
Number one that at least is also taught in eShip 230 is Atomic Habits, Making and Building New Habits. That's a really good book. There's a book called 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. That is a really good book from starting to finishing your venture. And I think other resources would just be literally Burgess. We have every single thing that you can think about of starting your own business, and I think that resource is by far a very big resource.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I got a big one to share with y'all. NPR does a podcast with Guy Raz. It's called How I Built This, and been going on for, oh my gosh, like 7 years now. And we can learn a lot from books. We can learn a lot from each other. And what Guy Raz does really special is he shares a founder's story, kind of, I guess, what we're doing a little bit up here right now. And he'll interview like Herb Kelleher, who did Southwest Airlines. Like, how do you start an airline company? That's wild. Or the founder of Zappos, or the founder of Bumble. And they're about like an hour and 10 minutes long sometimes, but super cool stuff. Kind of learn the lessons. You figure out the lessons learned and how to like fight against all odds. And it's been, oh my gosh, I think they have like 100 plus episodes. And How I Built This, Guy Raz, you will do yourself a service.
For me, I like to learn about the brain, and it helps me understand myself and people around me. And I think that really helps me with my everyday things and like managing time and like talking to people. So it's not entirely entrepreneurial, but there's this podcast on Spotify. It's called Do You Fucking Mind? And no, you should listen to it. She's amazing. She would tell me about so much about myself that I don't even know. So, and she always has a neuroscience fact, which I really love, and I understand it now. So, yeah.
I'm also a very avid podcast listener. For my entrepreneurship recommendations, I really like Check Your Aesthetic. I think I forgot what the hosts' names are. One of them's Katie, but they don't post as much anymore, but their podcast episodes are super informative. They break down each episode. They usually have a guest on there who specializes in like certain aspects of the business world. Like they had a copywriter on there, which was really cool. And she broke down a lot of different aspects on how you draw customers in with just the way that you write captions on social media, and how like your website, like certain words on your website will tend to pull more people in compared to other words. Very, very interesting stuff. I think it's super cool. And then another one is Small Business Saturday. Again, forgot the host's name or her full name. Her first name is Madison. She's lovely. Those episodes are great because they're only like 20 to 30 minutes. So you can really sit down, kind of immerse yourself in it, and then move on with your day. For non-entrepreneurship recommendations, love Dateline, love Crime Junkie. Those are two solid ones.
Oh my God.
And then shout out Travis Kelce. New Heights is also lovely.
Sweet.
So I also watch random YouTube videos, just like whenever I'm like, how was Bumble made, or how was Nike made? And just like random videos about big CEOs and the big companies out there. It's really motivational and inspiring. And whenever I wake up, like every day, I listen to this podcast. It's called The Morning Brew Daily. It's also on Spotify. And they just have like everyday news from like different startups and what's going on in the world. And I don't read news, so I think it just like helps me connect with current affairs, and it just like whatever is going on in the world, which is also super inspiring. So
Yeah.
makes me think about things that I don't.
Yeah. I hope you guys are all taking notes. The NPR with the Southwest Airlines, I remember I was listening. I think he did like a boxing match with like another airline person, which is insane. Your Dateline recommendation, I don't know. My mom's over here, and every time she watches Dateline, she calls me and is like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine."
My parents do the same thing.
Yeah.
They think I'm nuts for listening to it because they're like, you're just gonna scare yourself, especially now that I live in an apartment with just one other person. I scared myself when I first moved in, so I stopped listening to Dateline for like 2 months after I moved into my apartment.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's interesting in a really morbid way.
Yeah, it's intense. But danger versus fear. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, so we're gonna turn it over to Q&A now. So somebody will be walking around with a microphone, I think, maybe? Okay, so
We could give one
we'll
of
put,
these.
we'll
Yeah,
put
we
one
can
in the
donate
hand.
this.
Yeah. Who's first? Okay.
So I want Elliot to start with this one. What keeps you going when times are tough? Why do you do what you do?
Yeah, I don't know. Do you want to? Okay, I'll
Oh, jeez.
facilitate.
Thank you, Mr. Meadows. What gets you going, or what keeps you going when times are tough? Man. So fortunately, I'm in a really tough period of my life with the MBA program. So like, it's gonna be tough no matter how you shake it. Mamat's, I guess, Valley of Death has started, which has been super cool. There hasn't been too many tough things yet. I will say this: you got to find a balance of getting things done with the right people without being too annoying. There's a little bit of a nuance to that. So like, don't take, in the world of business, don't take no for an answer, right? There's always a line to find a solution. So to answer your question is, things haven't been super tough to the point of impossibility. Keep pushing forward. That's an easy thing to say. But yeah, in the world of business, don't take no for an answer. There's a lot of lines. You just got to find the line to success.
When things get tough for me, I like to ground myself and I like to talk to my mom. She's also an entrepreneur. She runs a nursing home back in India, and she's amazing with whatever she does, and she's a single parent. So she's very inspiring, and I talk to her, and she has solutions for me every time, which is crazy. So just makes me feel grounded, makes me feel supported. So I think just being around people who support you, who understand you, is really nice when you're going through stuff.
Another question?
Firstly, I'm a big fan, Rajmeet. I'd love to get an autograph later if you have time. My question is for Rajmeet and everyone. I mean, being a student startup founder is not easy, and I kind of want to hear like about the ugly, for the lack of a better term. What's been the hardest point of your startup story?
Sure. So, hi, Aman. Thank you for the question. I think.
They're co-founders.
Yeah. I actually know him. He's not my roommate for the last 3 years. But anyways, so I think the hardest point, honestly, is just managing everything. Like, I run Spartan Hackers, so biggest computer science club. I have 18 credits because I need to graduate on time. I have startup Orient Classroom. I work for Burgess 20 hours because I gotta pay off rent. And it's just, dude, some days are just like, I don't even have time for myself to even think that that I can take out from myself. That entire space where I'm just like, do I have any me time? I don't find that. And a lot of times I think that thing comes to just me mentally exhausted by the end of it. And I think that does get to me a lot of times, but I think it's what I want to pursue and it's what I want to do. So that's the motivation behind it.
I'll just quickly add on to that. I wouldn't say this is an ugly part of entrepreneurship, but comparison is one of the things that I personally struggle with a lot. Especially like this semester, I've just been super busy, and being on social media sometimes and just seeing like all these other small business owners like catapulting their businesses and doing all of these amazing things. I'm like, I wish that was me. But then I also have to keep in mind that these people aren't students. They don't have 100 other things going on. Their business is their sole focus. But honestly, like the way I've been trying to reframe that is using that comparison as kind of inspiration, looking at it as, this is awesome that they're doing this thing. How can I use that to inspire me to really move forward with my own business and take what I'm seeing is successful from them and implementing those into my own business?
Good. Okay. Perfect. Question over here.
I actually have two questions.
Okay.
I see a lot of like colored folks and up there. So I was wondering if y'all have ever faced any discrimination, as in trying to, like when you're trying to grow in your business, and if you have, how do you deal with that?
So I'm originally from India, New Delhi, India, and being an international and having a startup of your own is decently difficult because there's a lot of legal issues involved, there are a lot of things involved. I don't think I have faced per se discrimination of any regard, but for being an international and being, I often have to juggle with things that I'm doing. I have to see like if it's even right for me to even be part of these things, and I think that is sometimes you have to be a little bit more cautious and more aware of it. Yeah. Anything to add?
So fortunately, I have been blessed with people around me, and I have not really, faced anything like that. But one thing that comes with being a woman, being a person of color, being international, is that I have a constant need to prove myself. And everything I do, I just have to be perfect because I just need to prove myself because I'm not from here. And it's a struggle. It's an internal struggle that comes with like societal pressures or whatever. And it's not discrimination, but it comes with like, the way our society is, I guess. So, yeah.
All right, and my second question, have you guys ever like felt like giving up or being at your lowest? And if you have, I would like to know, how do you pick yourself back up, and what really motivates you to be successful and keep on going?
There hasn't really been a point where I've felt that I wanted to give up. There are definitely times where I'm like, I could have chosen an easier path than this, where I am not my own boss, when I am not working what it feels like 24/7. However, for me, the trade-off is I get to do things like this. I get to meet amazing people that are just as passionate about constantly learning and entrepreneurship as I am. And so, while it is very difficult sometimes, and that's not something that I can really sugarcoat, the trade-off is super rewarding, and that's not something that I see myself giving up anytime soon. But I mean, not easy, but it's definitely a very special experience that I hope that anyone who just has any sort of interest in it at least tries once.
Anyone? Okay. All right. Any other questions? Right here. Yeah.
So would you say that discipline has played a major role in like launching and continuing more than motivation? Because motivation can take you so far. So.
Go for it.
I don't know where you're fast to.
Okay, I guess I am answering this. I would say yes. I mean, like, I think discipline and motivation kind of go hand in hand. You have to have the motivation to want to start it, but you have to have, I lost my train of thought. You have to have motivation to really just drive that and really put yourself out there to continue to want to grow it every day, because you can grow it and then just plateau it, but to continue to just grow it time and time again, that, in my opinion, is a very key aspect of entrepreneurship and something that at least I focus on more than anything.
I'd like to touch on something that Ellie said there, is motivation to start. I think once you start, it actually gets a little bit easier. The hardest thing to do is to start. Another bit of audience participation. Who here has an idea that they do want to pursue? Okay, this is a lot more hands than the scary versus dangerous public speaking, which is good to see. So when you start working on your idea, there's a lot of vulnerability that's involved. You have this really cool idea in your head and you start sharing it with the world. That's scary, right? it is the best thing you can do for yourself to start that as soon as you possibly can. Because if you keep that idea in your head for a year, 2 years, that's valuable time that you could have been using to invest in that idea. So my advice is if you do have a good idea, just go for it. Start telling your friends, get them amped up about it, and then it'll start pinwheeling into something positive.
And I think persistence is the key. Like, you have to motivate yourself every day and keep doing it again and again.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, do we have time? Yeah, sure. One more. Why not? If you guys have to go, though, feel free. It's okay.
I have 2 questions for the open panel. So how do you incorporate feedback into your business, and how do you tell the difference between good feedback and bad feedback?
Something that I learned from eShip 190, Ken's class, and a lot of people is that after 5 people's of feedback, it's just repeating, or it's not gonna be that level of clarity. So if you show your idea to 5 people, they will give you a feedback. The next 5 will give you a feedback. But the first 5 will mostly be the ones that will give you the most truthful detail of it. What I mean by that, in a very broad sense, is that the first 5 is actually when you are really learning about what difficulties, what things are actually wrong with the platform. After that, you're kind of just adding things to and trying to relate to what the first 5 said, right? So because of that entire thing, I think getting the best feedback, or like just being which feedback is the best one or the correct one, I would say it's the ones that are actually gonna be using the platform should be the ones who will be able to give you the best kind of feedback for that.
No, I think you're right. Yeah.
Okay.
That's great. Cool.
If you're buying my earrings, I'll take your feedback. If you're not, I don't care.
Cool. You want to shoot your second one? Just. That was it? Okay.
Oh, okay.
Sweet.
Yeah, one more.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. One more. Speed round.
So I was gonna say, well, part of the reason like people become entrepreneurs is because of the change that you want to see and like make an impact on people. So I wanted to say, like, what do y'all want your life to like represent?
That's a really good and profound question, and thank you. Okay, so what do we want our life and our work to represent? Whoa, I think all of us could probably ask that to ourselves. For the work I'm doing with Mama is surrounded around water security and providing saving clean drinking water for our communities and our kids and our kids' kids. I think having access to the bare minimum and being able to do that for generations is super cool, and that's what keeps me going.
That's beautiful. Cool. All right. Let's give a round for our panelists. Thank you all so much for coming. And if you guys have any more questions, I'm sure they'll stick around for a couple minutes if you want to ask a personal question. Thank you guys so much for coming. You guys did awesome.
You were too.
Thank you.